All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to do the damn thing. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, if you like what's in this video and you think the content is right for you, consider subscribing, and I want to thank everybody who has subscribed so far. Check it out. Today's video is about the daily reflections of Alcoholics Anonymous, AA's main taproot. Bam! Don't run! Because some of the things in today's daily reflection might apply to you in your life and in your addiction or your recovery or your curious of sobriety, whatever it is for you. Something in this, I guarantee, will apply in the way you think about things. You ready to go? Let's get it. AA's main taproot. Now, if you don't go to Alcoholics Anonymous, I got it. It might not be your thing, and that's cool. Whatever keeps you sober is what you should keep doing. Here we go. AA's main taproot. The principle that we shall find no enduring strength until we first admit complete defeat is the main taproot from which our whole society sprung and flowered. Now, before I go into the small paragraph, check it out. When I first went to Alcoholics Anonymous, now this is not going to be a super long story, so don't run away just yet. But I'm going to tell you real quick, the bottom line. The day before I went there, I had tried to kill myself and I was drinking over a drug called Antabuse. I can never remember the clinical name for it. However, when you drink on top of this stuff, it will induce vomiting. For me, it made my throat swell up, my esophagus, as well as it made my heart rate skyrocket, and I was sweating like I was about to die. And I felt like I was about to die. And a lot of doctors don't prescribe Antabuse because you can in fact die if you decide to drink over it. Now, that's where I was at. My family was gone. My son didn't want to talk to me. I was about to kill myself, and I was drinking on top of Antabuse. Anyway, so where did that bring me? I had to do something different because I had tried quitting several times before this, and I tried to do it on my own. I said, I'm strong enough. I went to rehab. I got all these skills and everything else, and I thought I was golden, folks, and you might be thinking the same thing. Where this daily reflection lies for me is that I had to admit the fact that I didn't have control over this alcohol. Now, I had control over a lot of things in my life, so I thought, but it turned out my life was completely unmanageable, and it turned out that because I thought I was in control, but yet I'm sitting here getting drunk or trying to get drunk while at the same time literally about to kill myself doing it. Something had to change. I had been at the bottom so many damn times that I was so sick of being broke. I was so sick of nobody wanting to be around me, and I was just sick of having to drink every single day in order to stop the withdrawal symptoms, and then next just to be drunk. It wasn't fun anymore. So I was tired of all that, and I heard of a group of people that somehow found happiness without having to get drunk or high, and that was bizarre to me. That was something that I thought I could never wrap my head around that. And if you were an alcoholic, if you are or you were an alcoholic like me, and or addict, whatever your case is, you know, we all have our different vices and everything else. When they take over our lives and control every aspect of it, that's when it's time to maybe dig down deep and see what's really going on. Anyway, I digress. I had to figure out something different than what I was doing, because what I was doing wasn't working. Now, I've done videos on this subject before. As a matter of fact, I've done a daily reflections on this video before this time last year. And you can go back in the playlist, Daily Reflections, check them out, and a whole host of other videos that have helped me, and it might help you. Point is, folks, so there I was, right? Literally at my bottom line. And I heard of this group of people, and I thought to myself, if someone else can be happy without alcohol, like literally happy, then maybe there's a chance that I could find out what that's like. Well, I heard of Alcoholics Anonymous, and so I decided to go to a meeting that was near me and see what it was all about. Now, when I got there, folks, I literally walked up some stairs in a government building, and I was in a dark corridor. I don't know why it was dark, but it was dark. And there was this light. And maybe they did it on purpose, but there was this light at the end of the hallway, and it was a daggone door. And so I was questioning, am I in the right place? Do I even want to go further than this? Because I've seen horror movies that kind of go this way. I walked down the hall, I went inside, and the first person I meet, his name was George. He was I'd say about 65, 70 years old. And he was like, welcome. I said, welcome. You know who I am? Because not many people welcome me. And he was like, no, you're in the right place. Come on in. So he showed me where I could sit down and be comfortable, get a cup of coffee and everything else, because folks, I'm here to tell you, AAers, they may not have good coffee, but they always, 100% of the time will have coffee. So I got a cup of coffee, I sat down and everything else. A few folks started showing up, and they all sat down, and then they started doing this thing, right? They started doing this thing where they were BSing about like past drunks and everything else, but they were doing it with a smile, and they were doing it with like, I don't know, admiration of the fact that they are now here and they don't have to have alcohol controlling their lives. And there was a couple of addicts too, and they were having the same kind of discussions. And I was like, this shit ain't funny, man. This is not funny. How are you guys laughing about this? Well, here's why. Because they had found together collectively that they can share their experiences of being drunk, and they can share their experiences of how they mess things up, and on and on and on. And they can also, and furthermore, and most of them do, they share the difference between now and then, and how sharing in this group and knowing that their experiences are similar and their stories all sound the same, that it can heal them, that it can help them to grow spiritually. And that may not be your groove either, folks, but I'm telling you, it can bring some wholeness to you in your life and help you to understand why you drink in the first place, because there's a lot of contributing factors, and they're different for all of us, but they're similar, of why you drink in the first place and how to live without it. And that's where I think Alcoholics Anonymous is a key winner in recovery. And there are millions of people who disagree, but there are also, on the other side, millions of people that have found recovery through Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, I'm not telling you it's your only way, but I will say that if I didn't go, and I didn't walk through the door, and I didn't meet George, and I didn't listen to those other folks, I wouldn't be here talking to you and sharing my experiences, strength, and hope here on this channel. If you've gotten any value out of that, do me a favor. Put a comment below of what you think about this so far, and what you think about Alcoholics Anonymous, like it or not, and how sharing your experiences have helped you, or you would like to share your experience in order to help you grow and see if it works. Does this make any sense for you guys? If it does, give that thumbs up, perhaps subscribe, I don't know. And let's do this last daggone thing, because I know a lot of you are like, please get to the point. So here we go, folks. Defeated and knowing it, I arrived at the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, alone and afraid of the unknown. A power outside of myself had picked me up out of my bed, guided me to the phone book. Now, this is way back in 1935, or, before the smartphone and all that stuff, when it was written. Then to the bus stop and through the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous. I experienced a sense of being loved and accepted, something I had not felt since early childhood. Now for me, my childhood was dark and torturous. And if you want to see that story, look at the video Child Abducted. I'm not going to drop the card, but I am going to tell you, go to the playlist My Journey and you'll see Child Abducted. Check that out if you want to know about my childhood. If you want to tell me about yours, feel free, because we're all here in this together. May I never lose sense of the wonder I experienced on that first evening of Alcoholics Anonymous, the greatest event of my entire life. Now for me, folks, that might not be your daggone thing, the daily reflections, but think about it. If you are in such a dark place and you are walking these corridors alone, and you knew that there was a group of people that understood what the hell you're feeling and what the hell you've been through, but they're happy and they know how to live beyond that traumatic event, and they know how to live without getting drunk or high over what goes on in that dark corridor of yours, would you want to go? I don't know. If so, put that in the comments. I'm telling you, someone's going to get something from it, and someone is going to be able to benefit from your experiences. And perhaps you can benefit from someone else who drops comments. I don't know. That's kind of how this thing works, this whole sharing back and forth. Daggone it, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that today's Daily Reflections of Alcoholics Anonymous has made sense for you, and you are able to apply it perhaps in your recovery, or if you're even thinking about getting sober and you're questioning, is my life really that jacked up? If that is the case, perhaps this is something you can benefit from. If this video has been any value for you and you have enjoyed the content here, give a thumbs up, please. I don't like doing the YouTube thing, but it helps keep these videos in circulation and available to you guys. Perhaps subscribe if you haven't done so already, folks. Life is a garden, and guess what? There's another video coming up. Dig it? I'll see you in the next one. Have a happy hump day. Bye-bye.